What was your high school rumor that turned out to be true? Janitor shit on the coats. Seems like every school has the same rumors and a lot ended up being true, at least at some point were proven right. There was a science teacher who was also the boys and girls swimming coach, and he was way too nice and flirty to the girls, and he has his favorites, especially the girl swimmers in his class. Rumors that he was doing stuff with one of them. Eventually they got busted when the girl's mom found a burner phone he had given them, and they had been meeting up at hotels the next down over. He's obviously in jail. Not really a rumor, but there was this new teacher who came to our school from another district. A few weeks into the year, the police showed up at the end of the day and took him away in handcuffs. He had been involved with a student at his prior school, so he was gone. There was rumors about a social studies teacher that apparently she was in one of those Girls Gone Wild college spring break videos from the late 90s. Apparently some boys had found the footage and she neither apparently confirmed or denied it was her. There was also rumors about one section of our school apparently sinking into the ground since it was built on some wetlands or something. Actually it was true that they ended up having to rebuild it since the foundation has sunk and floors had cracked. The teachers who we thought were into young girls were. In retrospect, I went to a pretty ducked up school. The English teacher was married to the gym teacher and she was cheating on him with the principal. At my school it was that the 50-year-old, tubby balding maths teacher with thick glasses was dating the hot young blonde religious studies teacher. Imagine a real-life Peter Griffin-looking guy in Mario Robbie. For about a year the rumor persisted for some reason, but nothing really came from it. Then some kids saw them out together holding hands and kissing at a bar and took pictures. In our class the following Monday, someone had printed one of the pictures and stuck it to his whiteboard. The teacher walked in and saw the picture and ripped it off the wall, but did so with a smirk on his face. Apparently the pictures had been put up in their respective classes and random places around the school. I do not know if they are still together, but I know they had a kid. Mr. Blad, 50, was banging a freshman girl, 14. Mr. Blad wore a leg prosthesis. They were caught in the act by her dad. During the fight Mr. Blad's leg came off and her dad nearly beat Mr. Blad to death with it. Mr. Blad went to prison. The girl transferred to another school. Mr. Blad went to prison. He did not have a leg to stand on. One of the languages teachers slapped a kid during class. She got suspended and miraculously came back, with everyone knowing she slapped someone. One of the absolute saddest ones was to do with my English teacher. She was one of the youngest teachers and was from France. She was really lovely and she got pregnant one year. She was really excited and we all asked if she was having a boy or a girl. Then, she was off for a really long time. Suddenly, we learned she had either a late miscarriage or a stillbirth. She was still very lovely and nice, but you could tell something changed. The last I remember she did have a son and I think she got pregnant again, but this was years ago. A student and teacher were dating. Everyone knew it wasn't a rumor, and it was very confirmed recently when they got married on the Drew Barrymore show. The 9th grade science teacher everyone thought was a creepy pedophile was in fact a creepy pedo. He was caught watching porn on the classroom computer twice, but nothing changed until a 15-year-old student confessed that she blew him for a better grade. The band director and the theater teacher everyone thought were having an affair with each other were caught in an emergency exit stairwell ducking. Teachers date and frick a lot. I am sure percentage-wise it's really small, but it's a common enough phenomena that it's noticeable. I came here to tell essentially the same story from middle school through high school. There were 3 teachers busted for underage. Band teacher got arrested mid-concert. As cliche as it sounds, the app chemistry teacher actually was a drug dealer. He was arrested a few years after I graduated. I am pretty sure that it was mostly pot that he got caught with, but still. The one teacher left because he was messing around with a senior girl. true. They are still married 25 years later. She was 16, so above the age of consent. The one teacher left because he was a pedophile. Utterly false, but the rumors ruined his career and he had significant health issues as a result. The tunnel under the stage that leads to the sports field. False, but a fun way to prank new students, and I hope is still a tradition at that school. Many a young lad has discovered nothing but dust and spiders. The teachers we thought were having an affair were in fact married to each other. They had different last names and we were board-sheltered suburban kids. A band teacher and one of his students were incredibly close. The rumors were that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. After she graduated, they got married and had kids. Since there was no proof of any wrongdoing before she turned 18, there was no investigation. The handsome and young noob teacher was dating a student. Said student was over 18, so they just kept it quiet until she was not a student anymore. Then they made it official. We had an endless cycle of principals at my high school. There were 5-6 I think in my 4 years. Most people never have to meet with the big brass, but I was a troublemaker, so I noticed and always thought it was weird. Found out as an adult my school was something of a training ground for the state. Newer principals were sent to our school to get broken in. Probably because we were pretty small and kind of a lightweight school. If I was one of the biggest troublemakers, not really a rumor so much as a mystery that became less mysterious when I grew up. There was a rumor in my high school that a certain boy was in a relationship with our then 36-year-old English teacher. It turned out to be true, but the truth was far more bizarre. The teacher was actually blackmailing that kid among a handful of others who were all 13-15-year-old. She even had a few 16-year-olds in her list. But the 16-year-olds had participated willingly, whereas the younger ones were forced. There was a rumor going around that I had plans for a bomb hidden in my locker. They were wrong. I did not have a locker. There was a rumor going around that the art teacher was sleeping with students and was selling drugs. 3 years after I finished high school, I found out that she had been arrested for drug selling and possession, as well as having sex with minors on multiple occasions. The head cheerleader and QB were a couple. They tried anal in the back of his truck. He pulled out, and she had massive diarrhea all over the interior of his truck. That stink never came out. There was always this rumor that our principal had a liquor bottle in his desk drawer. Fast forward a few years and he got a DUI, lost his license for a year and had to apologize in front of the whole school. My brother used to sell weed to our freshman history teacher. It was talked about a little bit at school, but I know it was true. New business teacher was a pedo. I walked into class to find everyone talking about it. Turns out he was part of a CP ring, and applied at our school to escape charges in Georgetown. He resigned the previous day when he heard police were looking for him, only to get arrested a few hours later. What shocked so many people was that our school district was very picky when it came to hiring teachers, so we had no idea how he got through. The worst part was that they also had him teaching a freshman class, and he happened to be attracted to the boys in the class. Also, I've linked an article to prove I am not making this up. Not high school but middle school. First day I arrived at my new middle school, I was told that the music teacher was supposed to be a pedophile. He is in jail now. It took more than 10 years between the rumors and the prison. I don't think anything happened at school though. Our French teacher was dating the intern from German language. Fun fact, he was at the time in a relationship with a former student. This guy and girl made a bet who could sleep with more people by graduation. The guy had chlamydia and single-handedly caused a small chlamydia outbreak. Apparently he slept with 40 girls by the end of the year, which I don't know if it's true, but 2 girls I know both got chlamydia around the same time. I got one too. There was a rumor amongst my only 4 friends in school and a few students below my grade that a girl in our school is giving BJs for money. We all later thought it to be dumb and went with our lives. Cut to the end of that year, I found out from a classmate that the rumor was indeed true, and the girl was in our class. She would give BJs at lunch in the empty classroom for roughly 4 25 word never got to the teachers as the boys got BJ were secretive of it. That was my last year on that school, so I did not get one. There was a rumored list at our high school. The alleged list had the names of all the partiers. Another rumor was that a student his dad was a cop provided the names for the list. So fast forward a bit and the police came to our school with a drug dog. Only a few people got busted because that one student tipped off his friends. One of the guys that got busted said he saw his name among others on a piece of paper when he was in the vice principal's office. He ended up fighting the cop's son once he got back from being suspended. He was then promptly expelled. The cop's son was not even suspended for fighting, but his reputation was ruined. High school QB was banging the new hot 24-year-old teacher. Private all-boys school, so she was let go quietly and he continued to see her for a while freshman year before concluding she was an absolute mess mentally. The band director had a very brief affair with an 18-year-old senior. He immediately regretted it and admitted it, and lost his job. Naturally, a girl convinced her family to move after an incident with anal sex and stomach problems. Cannot blame her. This one was not exactly confirmed true, but the biology teacher was colorblind, and we all used to joke when he had come in with a pink shirt and forest green slacks that his wife was upset with him and sent him out looking like that. Rumor: a kid accidentally cut his hand off with a hatchet at a work day for his youth group and bled to death. Reality: he cut his hand off while cutting wood at home with, I think it was a handsaw or something. He survived, but he had a prosthetic. I do not know how it ever started, but there was a rumor that a brother and sister had been experimenting together ever since middle school, but I do not think anyone really thought it was true due to their widely different high school cliques, but were found having sex together at a party one night at their house. I have never seen one person ostracized so quickly or severely as the sister. She went from being one of the beautiful popular type girls to no one even wanting others to know that they used to be friends. There was this huge line of boys all leading to one bathroom stall. Teachers eventually found out and went to inspect what was going on to found one girl giving out head to long line of boys one by one. On the way to the office, I guess teacher asked her why and she said, "I like giving head." First heard the rumor from an upperclassman and was later retold the same event by a teacher. The gay brotherhood was real and they really did have orgies in the trades building after school. A girl in my year slept with a guy at a party. He asked if he should wear a condom. She allegedly said, "No, it's fine. If I get pregnant, I will just get an abortion." After the deed was done, he went and told his friends and it went around the school the next day. Not only was it true, she also didn't care who knew about it. There were rumors for ages that the history teacher was shagging the science assistant lab tech. His wife was the science teacher at the same school. Found out it was true when the wife found out and stormed a history class to confront him about it. It went down in school legend. There was this room in basement that was rumored to be teachers' tobacco den. We often saw teachers entering there with coffee and leaving with cigarette stench. What we didn't know was how comfortable this den was. We got there once, and they had comfortable chairs and little tables with ashtrays there, and some newspapers and magazines to read too. We envied them so much. This friend group of girls, huge friend group, so original rumor was that one of them got pregnant multiple times and there were multiple abortions. Then it came out about another girl, and then apparently it was the same guy. And then after high school, I got a job, was working with one of the friends of the girls, and then I became close to everyone. Like enough where they talked around me mainly cause I am quiet and do not spill secrets to everyone. Turns out, not only was it true for the two girls, it happened to every single one of the girls in the group. I literally found out in the middle of eating a sandwich and choked on it for a second when I found out. Like what? And a guy was ducking blind or something in high school, cause there were so many more problems at my school than I was aware of. Not necessarily a rumor but very controversial nonetheless. In 2018, My high school principal canceled an in-school screening of the 1993 film Cool Runnings Undergrounds of Racism. A ton of students were outraged, as well as the main actors of the movie that reached out to the school. I think a few of them showed up in person if I remember correctly, but do not quote me on that. My high school band teacher looked like a hippie who grew out of his hippie years, usually had messy long hair, but otherwise dressed professional. He also knew his instruments, whether it was a piano, guitar, upright bass, tuba, whatever it was, he could play it. His son also went to the high school, and I guess it got out the band teacher used to smoke marijuana and possibly harder drugs when he was younger and has been clean for decades. Keyword: when he was younger. This was also way before marijuana became legal. It was always a tongue-in-cheek rumor among the students. We always suspected it because he always hinted at his hippie years. Well, one day I show up to guitar class and he said he may get let go but would not discuss why. Turns out his son found out about his old drug use and told his friends, who eventually told their parents that a music teacher at our high school did drugs. School started investigating with the intent to fire him. Students rallied against the school to stop it, justifying that people change and has been clean. I even spoke up in favor of him staying despite me and him not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. I took his class to screw off. Good news is he didn't get fired but actually retired a few years later. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.